And then also with the Washington football team, which is supposed to be an expose in the Washington Post here, whenever that ends up getting dropped. There's a lot of things happening with a lot of allegations. None of them can be confirmed, but I was scouring the internet to see what all other people have been told as well, because I didn't want to be the person that breaks the news. A lot of the things that I was told in the message that I got is being echoed on the internet right now by accounts, a lot of accounts. And none of them can be confirmed, so I don't want to sit on. But obviously, the New York Times article that happened a couple years ago that talked about the Costa Rica cheerleader trip, where the Redskins cheerleaders, at the time they were titled the Redskins cheerleaders, they were forced to get nude in front of sponsors, and then they were said to go out to the club. And, it was all like one story, and then the choreographer, the head choreographer, is that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
The head choreography for the cheerleaders came out and was like, that is not the case at all. So who knows if it's going to be more of that conversation about potential terrible situations and sketchy business practices. But the on-field one is the one that in the text message, the text message that I got, is the one that I think is going to be an earth shatterer. And now that other people are tweeting about it, if there is anything happening with the refs and Dan Snyder, that is going to be a big, big story. And it has not been confirmed. It has not been confirmed. I would assume if it was confirmed, that would already be big news. But the allegations of what this Washington Post article are going to be about are coming out. And boy, it is going to be fucking big, I think, if all these are true. Yeah. AJ.
Well, what are you trying to say when you say if Dan Snyder and the Washington football team, to be named later, I guess who knows when their new name will be revealed? Do you think the new naming is trying to take some of the smoke away from what is eventually going to come out?
It's amazing that this is all happening at the exact same time, it feels like. Now, it could be a terrible time to be a part of the Washington football team name TBD. That is definitely a true statement. This is a terrible time to be a part of that organization, but it feels like a lot of the decisions that were being made behind closed doors in that organization for, I don't know, the last decade or two are potentially all about to come to light. And also on top of that, you have to rename your entire franchise when there's 12 days before training camp's supposed to start. So it is a wild time over there. But if there's anything between and refs, that is a problem for a lot of things. What do you mean?
But what are you saying? What could go on between Dan Snyder and the refs?
I'm not breaking this news. Other people have tweeted this, but this was one part of the thing that I read that I said, oh shit, if that is the case, that's a big deal. Alleged payments to referees, people are talking about on the internet. If that is true, and they still stink, first of all, doing it wrong probably, bad investment, bad money, but if they are doing that, that's going to be a big deal. And that's an allegation that's rolling out on the internet right now. This is nowhere near confirmed or true. But if that is happening, that's a massive ordeal, not just for the Washington football team named TBD, but the entire NFL.
I mean, that's a huge, okay, yeah, like you said, we don't know anything.
We don't know if this is true. We don't know. These are all allegations.
Nothing is confirmed. But if something like that would come out to where there was a situation between a team and the refs and there was some collusion or whatever, if that happened, I mean, that's a gigantic black eye for the NFL, for whatever team was involved, whatever teams, owners, players, refs, everyone. I mean, look what happened when Tim Donaghy, the NBA ref, like what happened with him. He went to prison.
Hey, and Tim Donaghy happened before sports gambling, okay? So that was just like the only people that he did it for sports gambling, but the people who were gambling were illegal gamblers. So everybody's like, I don't feel bad for somebody that's breaking the law. But now it's like sports gambling is involved. And if you ask any coach, by the way, not any coach, but most coaches, if they feel as if a ref is working against them or for somebody else, they will all tell you, yep, it has happened. I've seen it happen, because coaches have to write up reports the day after games. And any rule that they think they got wrong, they would like to challenge it. And then they get an email back from the NFL that says, oh, we got this one wrong. We apologize. Now, granted, you probably lost the game because of that. And maybe you lost out on a lot of future earnings, and maybe you're not in the playoffs because of it. But they at least acknowledge that there's a lot of coaches that question a lot of the referees' decisions. And when this comes out, it's not just, I mean, if this is true, which we are not sure if it is, but this is going to be a massive fucking conversation. I mean, this is a massive conversation by a lot of people to be had.
Do coaches ever reach out to the referees after a game if they think they've been, kind of slighted?
Brian Flores almost fought a ref after the game last year. That was a wild one. What was your relationship like with the refs?
Most of them I felt pretty good about, and I would talk to him before the game, during the game, and it felt okay with him. I was never super tight with any of the refs, but I feel like I was
Sterator. You were tight with Sterator.
I like Sterator. Now, was it Triplet? Triplet's not exactly my guy.
Oh, Walt Anderson, not my guy. Would be a real shame if forget it. But yeah, Triplet was tough. Triplet was tough as well. Anytime he gave an announcement. So you remember when they banned any racist remarks, like the N-word was no longer allowed to be said on the field by anybody. There was nothing else like that could have been a penalty. I was hoping the Triplet was going to have to be the one that fucking called it. Like, all right, we got a personal foul on this guy. Right, he said, listen, he said a word that you can't. 15 yards, all right, and let's move the ball down the field, okay? But Triplet's draw, that slang that he had, I think automatically made people go, oh, this guy. Like, I think it's just
always stumbling over his words.
Always, and he left his mic on. It felt like more than other people, like through the whole thing. But that's not an easy job, okay? I'm never going to say that that's an easy job. There's a reason that nobody wants to be a ref. Nobody's pulling for him. But there's some egregious shit that happens that you just go, like, there's no way you. And then if this comes out, imagine the question marks when you go back in the history of game. I mean, if this is true, this is maybe the biggest news in, I don't want to say the league's history, because I'm sure there's a lot of shit that has happened that I just don't know about with my recency bias, but that's big news. And maybe that's why everybody that's been hyping up this news that knows anything about it is like, hey, big news coming out of the wash, big news. But what if this all ends up to be just complete horseshit too? We have to take that into account. What if this ref thing is just complete bullshit lie by somebody who potentially just hates Dan Snyder, which I've heard is a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've heard is a lot of people. Like, what if that, we have to take that into account too. But boy, there's been a lot of hype for this thing. There's been a lot of hype for this story.
So we're waiting for the Washington Post to put this out, right? Are they the ones that did it?
Yeah, and I think the reason why is because the Washington Post has to confirm everything with multiple people. So that is what I was told. Like the Washington Post, professional journalism, big time journalism, everything has to get confirmed and sources have to get blah, blah, blah. That's why they're waiting for this story to come out. It's like, so then we don't know if any of it's true, but I don't think I remember any hype like this for a newspaper article ever, maybe.
Since Jay Glazer, since he teased something.
Look good, feel good, play good.
Play good, pay good, live good, die good.